Okay, welcome to my next segment of the show now. I'm joined by my next artist. Pleasure speaking with Rob. Just had a little bit of chat before we come on. We got Robert Ross. You are from Nashville, USA. But first up, we're going to ask, how are you today? That's most important.
Uh, First off, thank you very much. Appreciate you having me on the show. Yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you. It's
Great.
uh, it's a
And
beautiful sunny day here in Nashville.
uh, Nashville, brilliant part of the world. Hear so much about it. I've never been, but in one day I might make a visitation. And so Nashville, USA, is that where you've always been located, or has the music kind of made you travel around the world?
Yes, music has gave me the opportunity to travel here, there, and everywhere, and been very blessed and fortunate. Uh, no, I'm not originally from Nashville. I just moved here in October, and it's music that brought me here because if you want to make it in country music, you kind of have to be present to be here, kind of. You have to be here to make it, kind of thing, make that presence known. But I'm originally from New Brunswick, Canada, east coast of Canada. And I'm a dual citizen, Australian, Canadian. So the last 15 years I've been living in Australia, and I just moved to Nashville in October.
Wow. And in Australia, I do speak to Australian artists. So the country music has swept down under, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. Yeah, it's growing quite rapidly. It's the fastest growing genre
Mm,
in Australia, and it's
mm.
been doing very well.
Fascinating. So was country music, was that the genre of music that you always kind of like wanted to go down?
Yeah, country's always been there.
Mm.
It's been my core music right from early child. My mom used to sing around the house, and that she never sang professionally. She had a beautiful voice, and she always sang. And so yeah, it was always there. So country's been the base of my music right through my whole life.
Mm. So a little bit of a passion there for country music.
Yeah,
Great. Your new single as well, is called Drink 'Em Down. That's your latest release. How
yeah,
do you
that's the new single off my current album.
great. How was how have you found it being received by everyone?
It's been great, and especially over in the UK and Europe, it's been going gangbusters over there. So, many thanks to all the great folks over there, the listeners that have been requesting the song, and all the DJs that have been pushing it. It's been great reception.
Great. And it's steadily climbing on the streaming services as well, gathering the listenership, which is good. Um, Drink 'Em Down as well. Yeah, you've just reached over 1,000 on the Spotify 1100 and growing as well.
Yeah, it's just been out there a little while now, and it's grown quite rapidly. And yeah,
Hmm.
getting a lot of radio play around the world, actually, Australia, UK, Europe. It's hitting quite a few radio stations here in the US. So I've been very fortunate for that.
Amazing. And do you enjoy being on stage as a solo artist, or do you like to jam with other artists as well, when you're gigging?
It's fun both ways. As a band, there's always a little more energy, so it's fun that way. As a solo artist on stage, doing a close, intimate show, you get that more personal feeling, so you can communicate better with the audience,
Hmm.
and you can joke around with them a bit more. You can get that feedback, people talking back to you at the same time. So that's a whole lot of fun, also.
Mm. Amazing. I also listened to Mama's song as well. That's one the first songs I listened to from you. Would it be fair to say it's got kind of a gospel feel to it as well? Kind of like along the lines of Randy Travers, is it?
Yeah, Mama's song is very near and dear to my heart. It was back in January I wrote that song, and I just come home from church, and I was sitting down at my desk, and I was looking. There's a picture of my mom right there in the corner of the desk, and so I was looking over, and I was thinking, just reflecting on her, and how the love I felt coming from her as a child, and how I could hear her sing, and her voice would be, she had the voice of an angel, and just thinking back on that, the song just kind of came to me and fell out. It was a gift from God that it just came through the pen. I put it down on paper, and it was a beautiful little moment between mom and I.
Mm. Ah, and with putting that song together, did you find that just come naturally? It just kind of flowed? Because I know sometimes writing songs it can take like weeks or months or years.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. I always tell people, when people ask me how do you write songs, I tell them I don't know,
Mm,
because it's kind of a funny thing. The song comes to me, the song and the music come together, and I always say that it's just a gift from God. I'm just the one who receives it, and I put it down on paper. And it's funny how you say that. It may take days. The quickest song I've ever written was 9 minutes,
mm.
and the longest one was 13 years. It's funny how it comes. Sometimes it comes. It's just like the music's out there on waves, and if you happen to be tuned into that station at that time, that's when you receive the music and the song.
That's amazing. And I believe you're on to your second album. If I'm right, is that a Sophomore album? Like a second one, I'm not sure.
It
But
Yeah, it's my second one. I guess they call it the sophomore
yeah,
album.
I'm
Yeah,
never sure why they called it Sophomore, but I guess you could have a name for a second album. And there's a
okay.
debut album, so why not
But
have a name for a second?
yeah, the name of the album is Better with Time. My
Mm.
first album was Never Too Late, and
Yeah.
then the second album is called Better with Time.
Right. And just reading, say, on your bio, you've had a military background as well.
Yeah, that's correct. I proudly served the Canadian Army, in the Canadian Army for 11 and a half years.
Oh,
I was
wow.
honored to
Congratulations.
do that.
And did you find like in the military as well, there was a department for music, like with say like playing like the bugle or the fanfares. Did you ever get involved in that or doing like being on stage for the soldiers, that side of things, singing?
No, never ever did that in the military. I always sang and played, played guitar and that and sang, but no, never ever partook
Hmm.
the military band. In my regiment, we had a pipes and drums band, so there's no guitar there anywhere.
Yeah, no problem. Uh,
I love the bagpipes. I've always loved the bagpipes, and
yeah,
Amazing Grace on the bagpipes brings a tear to my eye every single time.
yeah. And that's Scottish, isn't it? As was that part of the world you like to visit or have visited?
I didn't. I was stationed over in Germany for 3.5 years,
Hmm.
and I kind of kicked my butt now that I didn't go visit Scotland. It is one place I've always wanted to go. Because my
Hmm.
heritage, it's Scottish, Irish, English, and French, and a little bit of North American Indian
Yeah.
in there.
Wow.
So
Great.
human mutt.
I need to ask as well, who have been your influences, like say over the years as well?
Yeah, well, some of my biggest influence are Johnny Cash is one of my big influences. I
Mm.
love, he's one of those people that kind of had his mark on all genres of music throughout the world. So yeah, like Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Randy Travis has been a big influence to me, and then up into the more modern Sawyer Brown, and George Strait, just been all big heroes of mine.
Mm. And then
Chris
like
Christopher, Chris
sure,
Christopherson, one of the biggest, best songwriters in the world. I'd love to sit down with him and have a chat.
cool. And looking at the Billboard charts at the moment, so we have quite a few, especially here in the UK, we have quite a few country artists pulling through. Um, what's your opinions on that? Is it good to see that, people trying, different styles of music, country music for the young people?
Yeah, it's I'm torn on it a little bit because it's great to see people doing their thing. The only thing that bothers me about it is that it waters down the genres of music. Like I have great respect for every genre of music. People who do rap,
Mm,
I've listened to rap, and there's a lot of it I like. There's some heavy metal that I like.
mm,
There's jazz I like, blues I like. But to me, I think that everybody should stick to their genres of music, keep the genres pure.
mm,
Like why would you want to water down something and make everything sound the same? Keep everything kind of in their boxes. Like there's still lots of room to grow within the genres, but the way it is right now is that um, everything is kind of sounding the same,
mm,
and it kind of takes away from the pureness of each genre.
mm.
And what it has to give to its culture.
Yeah. Looking at our state of the UK charts at the moment, I'm just being honest. You look at the top 40 and it's all over the shop. The songs in the charts from, like, say, 20, 30 years ago. And most of the songs are sampled remixes of, like, pop dance songs. And it's like, well, as a DJ, I'd rather play the original, really, because,
Yeah.
that's where you can't beat the original, really.
That's right. Yeah,
Mm,
there
mm,
there are some times that it happens that a remake is better than the original, but I
mm,
same thing with you. I find that the original is probably the best that there is. Like
mm,
take for example Chris Stapleton. I have a great admiration for him. He's an incredible songwriter, incredible performer, great artist. But I'm still very partial to the George Jones version of
mm.
song that he remade. You
Yeah.
know.
It's amazing. Just touching on, like you say, like, because I do karaoke, how popular Tennessee Whiskey was, and they wouldn't have just heard that song otherwise if
Yeah.
he hadn't released it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and it does. It gives new life to
Mm,
songs
mm,
also. So
mm,
there is that benefit of the remakes.
yeah.
But
And
yeah,
then
you touched on the pop sound of things, and that's kind of what's happening. If you kind of look at the modern country and you overlay that on the '90s pop, it's almost the same music.
yeah,
So it
sure.
kind of where's the line between pop and country these days? There's none, and the whole genre gets watered down that way.
Mm.
But there is a big pushback. There's a lot of the 90s style of country that's coming back and traditional style of country that's coming back, which is good to see.
Great. And you can't write a country song without mentioning, like, alcohol, the typical, bourbon or whiskey. And I know you had a hit called Jack Daniels as well.
Yeah, that song did very well for me in Australia. It was number one song in Australia. It was number one on the international charts. So that was a good fun song.
Mm. Are you partial to Jack Daniels now and again?
Yeah, I've had my fair share of Jack. I drink Gentleman Jack, and so yeah, it's there's Jack Daniels represents in a lot of different songs that I've written.
Amazing. And then that's brewed in the USA. It's Tennessee, is it?
It is, yeah, it
Ah,
is Lynchburg, Tennessee.
mm. And is that part of the world where you've visited or would like to visit, Tennessee?
Well, I'm in Tennessee at the moment. I'm in
Oh, wow, yeah.
Nashville. Yeah, I
Nice.
moved here in October, so I've been here, and I'm on a 3-year artist visa.
Brilliant.
So I'm here for the next 3 years.
Yeah. And what's the scene like there at the moment? Like Nashville, is it busy every night? Does every night feel like a Saturday? So much going on.
Funny you say that. I just wrote a song with a good buddy of mine, and Click, and it's every night is a Saturday night in Nashville.
I was in a pub yesterday. Yeah, there was two women. They were talking about how they were praising up Nashville. So it's like, yeah, that seems like a good place to check out.
Yeah, oh, it's great. You'd love it. It's
Mm,
like down on Broadway. It's a bit of a zoo. Like there's the whole strip on Lower Broadway. It's bar after bar after bar, and every building has 3 or 4 stories to it. On every floor, there's live music,
mm,
and it's that way on both sides of the street, all the way down. It's pretty
amazing.
incredible.
Do you have, like, saloon bars there? Like here in England, we've got pubs. You have, like, saloon bars over there, like, kind of like based on, the old westerns.
Not so much. No, a
Mm,
lot of them are being modernized.
mm.
You get a lot of the modern artists like Eric Church and all those guys that are opening up bars. Uh, what the heck's his name?
Oh,
Bon
yes.
Jovi. That's his name. I was trying to get that out. Tongue twister. Early in the morning. Yeah, he opened a bar down there. There's a whole bunch of new artists that have opened bars. So it's more the pop scene in there and that. But there are some great ones. To me, the best one down on Broadway is Robert's Western Wear. It's a great little country bar, a little bit of a pub feel to it, and that's probably about the only bar in Nashville now that you're going to get straight country right across the board.
Mm, mm. Amazing. Another song that you released as well, Driving Me Insane. You just tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a fun little song, and it's kind of touches on how people go through relationships, the ups and the downs, and sometimes it seems that no matter what the other person does, it kind of picks at you a little bit and drives you insane.
Mm.
So,
So when the listener can relate to that.
yeah, yeah. And it's different things in a relationship that happens, and sometimes your relationship breaks up, and then driving insane, but the love is still there.
Great. Now, Robert, just one final question. Where's best to for people to check you out, websites or, emailing lists or, social media?
Yeah, you can find me on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Robert Ross Music, and YouTube also, uh, Spotify and Apple Music and all the other streaming platforms. Robert Ross, you can find me there. Now, just to note on that, on the streaming platforms, there is another Robert Ross who is a blues player. So if you don't see the cowboy hat, it's not me.
Yeah. Good old trademark.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Great. So, Robert, I think that's everything I wanted to ask you for today. Thanks for taking time out just to tell me a little bit about what you do, your music, and find out just a little bit more about yourself. All I need to do really is play one of your tracks on my show now. I'm not going to should be able to squeeze it on, and would like me to play your new release. Is it Drink 'Em
Yeah,
Down?
that'd be wonderful. Yeah.
Great.
Great little
Would
book
you
happened here.
get everyone in a good mood?
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks very much for joining me, Robert Ross, on my show here in the England, UK.
Thank you, Dan. Really appreciate you taking the time for me
No
and
problem.
drink them down.